Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here, and today Dead by Daylight reminded us that 2v8 is coming back tomorrow, Tuesday, November the 12th, and they've given us this little blog here to talk about everything that's new. I wasn't sure if I was going to make a video about it, but even though I played some of the 2v8 in advance on last Friday, there was things in here that I noticed that I didn't even know. So I thought, yeah, let's go ahead and go over it. And I'll actually link the stream from Friday at the end of this video if you want to watch some of that, where myself and about 10 other Fog Whisperers all got to play the 2v8 in advance. And remember, what we played in advance was an early build from October, so it might not be exactly what we're going to see tomorrow. But anyway, here we go. 2v8 is coming back tomorrow, and we've got you covered with everything you need to know. New killers, new maps, class updates, and gameplay updates. That's one of the things that I was upset that we didn't get to see on our session on Friday, is the new map, the Dead Dog Saloon, because it looks really cool. All right, so let's get into it here. On the promotional art, they show that there is the Spirit and the Deathslinger added, but the Blight is also part of the new crew. So let's go ahead and click the forums and get right into it here. 2v8 developer update. All right, the beloved 2v8 mode is returning. A lot has changed since the first version, so much that we couldn't squeeze a regular developer update, and we're going to dive into all of it today. Before we get started, it's important to note that everything below only applies to the 2v8 mode and will not affect regular matches. Yeah, so 2v8 will be something that you can opt in over the next couple of weeks, and make sure that you make your voice heard. If you love the changes, if you hate the changes, whatever you feel about the way the new 2v8 works, make sure that you get in contact and constructively criticize or praise the devs, because this is only the second iteration and there's going to be more iterations to come. So they want to make it as best as possible. So you need to let them know what you think of, if they're on the right track or the wrong track. All right, here we go. Cages. Changes to cages. Survivors are now sent to cages after being picked up by a killer rather than by stomping. This is to allow for a window of opportunity for people to get flashlight blind saves or pallet saves, things like that. Now, I wasn't sure how this was going to work initially, but there is no carrying to be done. It just goes through the animation of you picking them up as a killer. And once you pick them up, it drops them automatically. You don't have to like carry them around or figure out when you're going to drop them or what. It just automatically drops them, and then they get sent to the cage, just to allow for that save window. Change. When a survivor is near a cage survivor, the cage will no longer move even if there is a killer nearby. Now, this is one of the things that prompted me to do this video, because I didn't know this when we played the session. I was being chased while I was going to save someone from a cage. So I thought, oh, well, I'll just do a drive-by and let the killer come by and respawn the cage when they're in chase, rather than, trading with them. But the cage didn't move, and I thought, oh, that was weird. And now I see why, because I was there. So there's no way of like tricking the killer into coming near the cage and then having it spawn somewhere else anymore. Survivors perform the unhook action 15% faster while a killer is nearby. Again, I didn't know this either because I didn't take the opportunity to save, so that's interesting. Developer note, flashlights didn't serve much purpose in the original version of this mode, as there weren't many opportunities to make a save. Killers now need to pick up a survivor before sending them to a cage, giving survivors a chance to use their flashlight. Now, you can't bring items into the trial, so you'll have to find the flashlight in one of the many chests scattered around the map. I think there's like over a dozen chests on these versions of the map. And also, one technique that you could do is you could body block for your fellow killer to stand in front of them when they're doing the pickup to try and block any flashlight blind that's coming in. All right. To prevent killers from camping a cage survivor, the cage would normally disappear and reappear randomly elsewhere in the map. This created some frustrating moments when someone was about to make the save only for the cage to move. We've changed this so the cage no longer moves as long as a survivor is nearby. Generators. New generator repair speeds are reduced by 1% for each generator completed. Generator repair speeds are increased by 1% for each cage state. Developer note, 2v8 matches tend to be chaotic and swing heavily in favor of one role or the other to help keep things from spiraling out of control. Early in a match, we've introduced a catch-up mechanic. The better the survivors are at doing, the slower repairs will be, and vice versa. In a close match, these effects will cancel each other out. And I didn't really notice that in-game. I knew that it was in effect, but I didn't really, like, feel it. But maybe that'd be like an intangible thing that is, you know, actually doing something, but you don't really realize it. So we'll see. Generator auras are only visible to killers within 64 meters. Didn't notice that either. Generators being repaired by 2 or more survivors are revealed to killers regardless of range. Oh, interesting. With so many generators and survivors running around, the number of auras being revealed can be overwhelming. These changes will reduce the number of auras shown at any given time and instead highlight important auras when they are necessary. Like, hey, there's 3, 4 survivors on this gen. We got to get over there. Interesting. Maps added: the family residence, the Dead Dog Saloon, Father Campbell's Chapel, the Rancid Abattoir, and the Wrecker's Yard. I definitely didn't see all those maps. We've added additional maps to house these chaotic trials. Like their original set of maps, these have been given the 2v8 treatment, making them larger than usual and featuring additional adjustments such as 3 exit gates. The Dead Dog Saloon, I wish I could have shown you that one. It's so cool with... it has a well on it and some new structures. It's pretty neat. The Blight. Killer debut, The Blight. The Blight is now available with an increased rush speed to 10.5 meters per second instead of 9.2, increased slam duration to 2 seconds, up from 1.25, an increased turn rate of 1.1. It was 0.9. The other killer can be bounced against. Yeah, that... King played The Blight when I played the Spirit, and he bounced off my body. So... yeah, that was kind of funny. All right, the Spirit. The Spirit is now available. Increased phase duration to 8 seconds, up from 5 seconds. Increased the phase recharge rate to 0.66 per second instead of 0.33 per second, so double. And increased the phase movement speed to 1.8 instead of 1.6. The other killer is visible while phasing and cannot collide with the Spirit while phasing. So the other thing that I found difficult to play as the Spirit is your teammate killer can't see you as the Spirit when you're phasing. So if you say, follow me, you know, you're on comms with your friend and you're like, follow me, they're over here, and you go phasing off in a direction, they don't know where you're at. So that makes it difficult, in my mind, for the Spirit to be the leader. To say, let's go over here, unless you know the landmark, so you could call out where you're going or something. So I don't know if that's something that could be changed, but I found that was a detriment for teamwork. The Deathslinger, killer debut. Deathslinger is now available. Decrease the reload time to 2 seconds, was 2.6 seconds, and increase the reel speed to 3 meters per second, and up from 2.76 meters per second. If the other killer hits a chain survivor, the chain will break. With these maps being this big, I think the Deathslinger is still kind of slow for this game mode. Personally, I think you have to consider carving out an area of gens to guard with Deathslinger, because his slow movement speed's going to make it difficult to cover things. That's my opinion. I don't know. I also missed a ton of shots as Deathslinger when I played 2v8, so I need practice for sure on that. Class overhaul. Reworked all the killer and survivor classes. Killer classes are no longer tied to a specific killer. In the next version of 2v8, we've overhauled the class system from the ground up. Survivors now have powerful, activatable abilities, some of which become available later in the match. Killer classes, meanwhile, have been redesigned and can now be selected on any available killer. So there's like Brute, Enforcer, Fearmonger, and Shadow, and you can pick and coordinate with your killer teammate which killer class you want to use. Survivor classes now have the following abilities. Class ability providing passive effects to nearby teammates as well as a strong activatable power. The ability changes over time and gain additional charge when you or another survivor is uncaged. info ability granting aura reading capabilities, and unlock ability, a secondary effect that unlocks after being sent to a cage. Let's see, does it go more into this? Additionally, survivors can use their class ability charge to pick themselves up from the dying state after recovering. Okay. Yeah, so this would be like the medic. You can press your ability button, and everybody who's in the radius when you're ready to heal will get 50% of their health back. If you have two medics together, they can both use their ability and like instantly heal people. It's super powerful. Killer classes that have the following abilities. Another survivor ability would be rebuilding broken pallets. As scout, killer classes have the following abilities: class ability, providing bonuses to themselves and their teammate; info ability, providing aura reading or forms of tracking; and the ability to Mori, the last remaining survivor in trial. Yeah, the finisher Mori still remains in the game, even though it's 2v8. You just have to negotiate with your killer teammate who's going to be the one to do the Mori. We'll delve into the available classes further into this post, balancing and adjustments to specific killers to ensure smooth gameplay in 2v8 still exist, though these are inherent to the killer rather than their class. Alright, base killer effects. Returning, damaging a generator reveals the auras of survivors within 20 meters for 5 seconds. You can extend that with Brute, I believe. It increases the range of the nowhere to hide kick aura reading. When starting a chase with a survivor, reveal their aura to the other killer for 5 seconds. This aura is removed if the killer enters a 16-meter radius of the survivor. When a generator is completed, survivors with no cage states are revealed to both killers for 10 seconds. I'm not really sure about that part. Like, I probably want to snowball and get the people out who I have hooked already, but I don't know. Though classes are changing, we want to preserve the integral aura reveal when chasing a survivor from the first version of 2v8. We've also added an aura reveal effect to damaging generators to ensure the mode stays fast-paced. These abilities are able to all killers regardless of their class. Now here come the killer classes here. So new killer class, Shadow. Now remember, anybody, I'm pretty sure you can even double these up. I don't know, we didn't try it. We tried to do a mix and match. Like you could both pick Shadow, both pick Brute, I think. Not sure. But you can coordinate with your killer teammate who's going to pick what for these classes. So for Shadow, class ability, when within 32 meters of a teammate, you gain undetectable. Injuring a survivor transfers the undetectable effect to your teammate instead, and the ability has a cooldown of 30 seconds. Info ability, when your teammate initiates a chase with a survivor, reveal the survivor for an additional 4 seconds. So that's on top of this starting a chase with a survivor reveals the aura for 5 seconds. That's on top of that. You get another 4 seconds for that. Brute, new killer class, Brute, ability to perform the break action 25% faster. Doing so grants a teammate within 32 meters 10% haste for 8 seconds. This has a cooldown of 30 seconds, and when damaging a generator, reveal survivors within an additional 8 meters. So instead of 20 meters, right, it's going to be 28 meters for the Brute. These info abilities only affect the person who has this class, not your teammate. Enforcer. New killer class, Enforcer. Move 3% faster when chasing an injured survivor. When a teammate within 32 meters hits a survivor, they are marked and have their aura revealed to you for 12 seconds. Putting that survivor into the dying state grants your teammate a 60% lunge increase for 15 seconds. This ability has a cooldown of 30 seconds. And when damaging a generator, reveal nearby survivors for an additional 4 seconds. And then we have Fearmonger. While unseen, gain 5% haste. I guess unseen means like not spotted by a scout. I don't know. When injuring a survivor more than 16 meters from your teammate, they gain 10% haste for 10 seconds instead. The ability has a cooldown of 30 seconds. And when a generator is completed, reveal the aura of survivors with no cage states for an additional 4 seconds. So that was up here as part of the base, right? 10 seconds, so it would be 14 seconds of reveal with the Fearmonger. Now we're going to get into the survivor classes. So here we go. You and survivors within 8 meters gain a 50% heal speed bonus, and grunts of pain are reduced by 50%. When your ability is fully charged, press the ability button to instantly heal all survivors within 8 meters by 50%. And again, as I said, if you have 2 medics who are doing this, it's instant heals for everybody within 8 meters. Pretty strong. Reveal the aura of injured survivors within 128 meters, and while injured, your scratch marks are suppressed, and your aura is revealed to all other survivors. So this is the unlock ability. Unlock ability happens once you have been caged once, and that's when these unlock abilities kick in. Scout, you and survivors within 8 meters move 100% faster while crouching. When you see a killer within 64 meters, reveal their aura to all survivors. When your ability is fully charged, press the ability button near a dropped or broken pallet to reset or rebuild it. So you can just like refashion the pallet, or you can pick up the pallet that's been dropped. Reveal the aura of killers performing the break action for 6 seconds. And your unlock ability is your walking speed is increased by 25%, and you make no grunts of pain while injured. Then as guide, you and survivors within 8 meters gain an additional 3% bonus progress from great skill checks, and repair sounds are 50% quieter. When your ability is fully charged, press the ability button to grant nearby survivors an 8% repair speed bonus for 10 seconds to try and really, I'm committing, get that last gen done. Info ability is reveal the aura of any unrepaired generators within 32 meters. And you're unlockable after being caged once. When completing a generator, you gain a 5% charge per survivor nearby. And the next time you work on a generator, those charges are immediately applied to the generator. And finally, we have Escapist. When you or a survivor within 8 meters of you start sprinting, you gain a 50% haste for 3 seconds. This causes exhaustion for 20 seconds and cannot activate while exhausted. When your active ability is fully charged, press the active ability button to make all rushed actions silent for you and nearby survivors for 8 seconds. Your info ability is to reveal the aura of pallets and vaults within 16 meters, so like a built-in windows of opportunity. And then you're unlockable after being caged once. You gain the ability to heal yourself without a med kit at 70% of the normal healing speed. So this isn't going to be for everybody. Before, I think when you're like facing Death Hook, everybody could self-care. I don't think that's the case anymore. Here we go. Killer updates. With classes being overhauled, we took this opportunity to touch up some of the available killers and integrate some of their previous class effects into their base kit. As with everything else in this post, these changes only apply to 2v8. Trap auras are now visible to your teammate. Increased haste after setting up a bear trap to 15%. It was 8%. Your teammates as trappers still, like, they can't step in your traps. They walk over them. So they can see them and kind of help drive survivors into them, but they aren't in danger of stepping in your traps. Your teammate cannot trigger bear traps. Note this was previously part of the trapper's class, but it's now part of his base kit in 2v8. The Wraith, increased action speeds for breaking walls, pallets, or generators, and vaulting by 60% while cloaked. Hillbilly, the chainsaw will now instantly down healthy survivors. They brought that back. In 2v8 before, the Hillbilly couldn't one-shot down people, so now it's back his normal ability. Decreased the chainsaw turning rate bonus to 30%, was 44%, and the Huntress removed the previous 20% hatchet throw cooldown reduction. Nurse, removed within survivors within 1 meter of the nurse blink will no longer scream. Interesting. Until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. All right, so those are your changes for 2v8 starting tomorrow. I had a lot of fun with it. I can't even imagine what queue times are going to be like this time, because they were so long to get into killer games before. I think that's going to continue. I don't know, even if... Yeah, I really can't say, because there's just nothing else like it in the game where you can team up and kill with your friend. So I think that that is always going to be a primary attractor to people for this mode. and a lot of people are going to want to play killer. So we'll see. I believe there's going to be daily logins during the 2-week period that the 2v8 is on. And I don't know if there's going to be separate challenges or not. I can't remember. But we'll find out tomorrow. But that's all I have for you today. As always, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate the time that you spend here with me on my channel. Let me know, what do you think? Are you excited for the return of 2v8? And yeah, so let me know in the comments below. As always, I appreciate the time you spend here watching my channel. Don't forget to take care of each other in and out of the fog. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life